All right, good evening, everyone. I am Beatrice Coronel, and I am the chair of Bronx Community Board 12 and calling the meeting to order at 7:02 on January 26th, 2023, the first meeting of the year. Thank you all for being here. We're going to start with Ms. John Claude with the prayer, and then we're going to go to Mr. John Isaac with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Claude, whenever you're ready.
Claude,
Can you hear us?
I think she could hear us.
Okay, Mr. John Isaac, do you want to go first? And then we'll go to Ms. Claude.
Guys, you could join me. We're gonna say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Claude, are you able to unmute yourself? I don't think she can hear us. Ms. Claude, so we're going to move that part of the agenda to the end of it. Can you hear us, Ms. Claude? Okay. All right, so we're going to move on with the agenda. Thank you all for being here. And we're going to start, we're going to move the order of the agenda a little bit. I know that we have some representatives here that do have to get going. So we're going to start with Alina.
Hi, you guys. So I it's so much happening right here. I'm gonna hang up, you guys. Good evening, and please just keep me updated on what's happening.
Keep
And
us
as far as
posted.
the meeting stuff.
Thank you, Alina. Keep
And
us
I'll call
posted.
George. I'll give you a call in a little bit once I find out what's happening here. All right. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Speaker Hasty, I know you probably don't have too much time either.
Well, just good evening, everyone. I'm recovering from ear surgery, so I can't really hear that well. So I just wanted to drop in and say Happy New Year to everyone. And I'll just briefly add that next Wednesday the governor is going. Can everybody hear me? Because I can't hear my. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
The governor is going to introduce her budget. And then our negotiations will go from there Wednesday, February 1st. And it seems two of the biggest subjects that we probably going to be working on is, I'd say, one is public safety, which is more than just what happens at the time of arrest. We're also finding that people believe public safety includes all of the other things that are important in terms of unemployment, underemployment, mental health, drug addiction, all of the things that factor into why someone may end up interacting with the criminal justice system. And then also the issues around affordability and housing. So I would say that those things are probably going to be at the forefront of where we're going in the budget this year. So I just wanted to, again, just drop in and say hello and Happy New Year. And I will be in and out, but my staff is still on here as well. So Happy New Year. And to all of you as the board members, and to George and Beatrice, thank you for taking care of our community as well.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And for the new members that we have, Speaker Hasty is also our local elected official. So I'm sure you knew that, but in case you didn't. So thank you. Councilmember Riley, I know that you mentioned that you probably don't have too much time either. Do you want to say a few words? No? Are you here? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna continue with our public gallery sessions. And I know that we had a speaker. Do we have anyone for public gallery sessions, community speaks?
We have somebody that has their hand raised from the QWPR.
Okay. Can you unmute yourself?
Evan Riley sent a message. He said he's sorry. There's a lot going on.
Yes, totally get it. Okay, so this is at the point on your agenda where we do our community speaks, our public gallery session. Just to remind everybody, we are giving you each 3 minutes. 2.5 is to share, and the last 30 seconds is to kind of figure out what next steps are. So do we have anybody that would like to share?
Absolutely. Here. Can you hear me?
Okay, it's QPR. Go ahead.
Yes.
How you doing? So, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. My name is Q. Been in the community my entire life, and recently I did outreach to businesses in the area, specifically White Plains Road, to get feedback on the bike lanes and how they're working with their businesses. And a lot of people are upset. I walked for maybe 3, 4, 5 days from Gun Hill Road. I probably got as deep till 238, and then I did the uptown side and the downtown side, and we actually started a petition, and we got about 1,200 signatures, probably more. We're probably at 13 or 1,400 signatures now, because a lot of people in the community are upset and disappointed. And one thing that I've learned are that a lot of businesses are suffering. And it's become like an occupational hazard. It's, a safety hazard. Financially, it's hurting us. And, it's just a lot. Coming to White Plains Road to work, I used to love it. Now I actually dread it because of all the congestion. I do know that the community board voted to have these bike lanes. At the same time, I don't think that the community board would have believed the situation would have got this bad. So I think it's time for us to do something as a community. I love this community. I like to spend money here, and honestly, I can't, because when I leave my business and I'm driving to another business on 228th or 229th, I literally can't find parking. Like, I have to go spend money in Co-op City or in Westchester or somewhere I know I'm going to find parking. So I'm also a bike owner. I have a bike. I ride my bike, and it honestly doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So a lot of people in the community are upset. If any of the members from the community board want to take 1 block or 2 blocks and just walk with me and get feedback from people, it's really becoming a situation because we're financially losing. But obviously, that may or may not matter to people. But at the end of the day, we just spoke about a fire, and we pray that everyone is okay over there. I spoke with first responders from the FDNY, EMTs, police, all off record. No one wanted to put their name on record. It's a disaster. They cannot get through. God forbid there was to be an emergency on White Plains Road, higher than 3 floors up. We don't know what's going to happen. And I mean, the Department of Transportation is going to have to answer for that. The mayor's going to have to answer for that. Everyone on this community board is going to.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you have about 10 seconds left.
No worries. So yeah, I'm bringing that to the forefront, and I definitely would like assistance from the community board, so we can get more outreach going and to just speak with people and find out what's going on. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Q. George, any feedback?
No, Q came to the community board and dropped off the petitions.
Okay.
We'll scan them and make them available to the board members. But he did correctly note that the community board did vote for this. I know that Q tried to fit everything in, so he may have missed that. He's not asking, and Q, you can correct me. My understanding from our conversation is that you're not asking us to eliminate the bike lanes. You're just asking DOT to sort of reevaluate the bike lanes on White Plains Road. Am I right?
Yeah, we definitely have to reevaluate it somehow. After I spoke with you, George, I actually spoke with a few, leaders in other communities, and their community boards actually respectively voted to decline those things, in the sense that they just didn't feel like it was working. So, like you said, we were probably the only ones You know, we're the first
Q,
ones that this
Q, I'm
happened to
so
in New York
sorry.
City.
Q, I am so sorry to interrupt you. We just have to keep it short because we do have a lot going on in the community.
Absolutely.
Can you hold that thought?
No, no
Uh,
worries. You're good. Thank you so much. I'm
thank you,
sorry.
Q. Speaker Riley. I'm sorry, Councilmember Riley. You're
Oh
next.
man, a promotion already, Beatrice. I appreciate it, man. Speak
Apologies.
affirmations to me. No,
Apologies to the speaker who's here. Councilmember Riley, you're next.
thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year to everyone I haven't seen already. Apologize for my tardiness, but our Chancellor is here in Co-op City, addressing the CEC 11 about a lot of issues within our school systems. And I'll just start there. That's the main priority for me within uh the budget this year. We're trying to fund a lot of our schools. And I don't know if a lot of you have been paying attention. There's a lot of technological advanced programs that are going to be coming to our city and our nation by 2030. They're talking about artificial intelligence now. They're talking about coding, robotics, and I'm really trying to make it a priority to make sure each school in our district is capable to educate our students for the next generation to come. Or the next career paths to come for them in the future. So that's been a real priority for me. And as you can see, we did get a win. Success Academy was trying to take over MS 113. Community members rallied together against it, and we were able to get that application pulled. And education is really important to me, but we're going through a really horrific time. I did speak to Beatrice and George earlier this week and wanted to do more collaborating partnership with the community board because the community board has different committees such as education and land use. And just to transition into land use, Beatrice and I spoke, and many of you do know that I am the chair of zoning and franchises, which is a very important committee on city council and on land use. And we're going to be able to host seminars with the community board to kind of educate the community on the land use procedure, which is going to be very, very helpful because, as many of you know, there's a homeless crisis in New York City. They're speaking about going in different districts, and I want our district to be more proactive, finding locations that we wouldn't mind for developments or buildings to be built. And kind of being more proactive and giving the administration suggestions rather than the administration coming to us after they already made their suggestions. It has been a pleasure being a council member the last 2 years. I'm going on my third year. So this year we're really focused on education. We're really focused on property tax reform. I formed a bipartisan coalition with my Republican colleague from Staten Island, the Minority Leader Joe Borelli, and the Comptroller of New York City, Brad Lander. We went to the mayor about last month before the new year and pleaded with him that when he is discussing with the mayor, with the governor of New York State, that if we can't come up with some form of property tax reform, and we did present a plan that we hope that he would take to the legislators in Albany and figure out some property tax, because unfortunately, when we think of the Wakefield section in the Northeast Bronx, we pay the most property tax in New York City, which is really, really really, really horrible. You're talking about we're paying more property tax than Park Slope. And those houses over there are really, really a lot of money. So that's something we really want to focus on this year. Another thing that we want to focus on this year is water resiliency. There was a lot of storms within our community last year that affected a lot of homes within Wakefield and within the Williamsbridge Oldenville section of our district. We held, alongside with Speaker Hasty and Senator Bailey, we held town halls. And Congressmember Bowman, who was representing the area at the time, we held town halls. We had the comptroller give some come over and do a study. We had DEP clean out some of the catch basins, but it's still so much to be done. And the mayor is presenting a plan that he is doing in Parkchester, but we're going to be writing a letter to him soon that he can actually extend that plan to the Northeast Bronx. So we're really focused on education, property tax reform, water resiliency, and just the quality of life within our community. So I'm not going to take up too much time because I know this is the first meeting and you guys have a lot to discuss, but just here and looking forward to collaborating and discussing more with you and Beatrice. I'm looking forward to coming to some committee meetings so we can have some real in-depth conversations and come up with some real solutions on how we could address a lot of issues. And just a small plug, We're having, I know Cynthia's going to say it later, but we're doing a day of service this weekend where we're going to be attacking 4 areas in the district and really doing a day of service, encouraging people to be more civically engaged within the community. Q, who was a brother that came to our office with the petition of the bike lanes, he's a brother that is getting more civically engaged. And I'm just happy that he was able to come to the meeting, but we need more input from the community, brothers like him. So truly appreciate it. And Chair Beatrice, thank you so much. George, thank you so much for the hard work you're doing. And thank you. I'm actually going to step back into this event. So Cynthia will take any questions and we'll definitely get any answers to you if she's not able to answer. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councilmember Riley, for being here and for your time. We look forward to collaborating. Q, just apologies, I didn't mean to interrupt, but definitely take that to committee. I know that you're exchanging information with Chair of the Transportation Committee, John Isaac. Thank you, Q. We're gonna move on to the next speaker. I know that we had Pedro Gonzalez with Bronx Health that wanted to talk.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Pedro Gonzalez from Bronx Community Health Network. I'm head educator at Bronx Community Health Network, BCHN. And thank you to Ms. Green for this opportunity to speak in this community board. So thank you. Our interest today is to introduce BCHN to the community, and because BCHN was founded in 1996, and we have been implementing programs and services to the community, to the Bronx community, and now we are opening a new health center that will be operating by mid-September this year. And the new center will be located 6337 White Plains Road. And what we are interested is in outreaching our community to see how we can help, the community and provide our services. And our services ranges from a community-based organization providing health insurance, quality health care, and also referrals to community-based organization, making referrals also for housing, SNAP application, and other state and federal services. I'm going to be brief this time, and my question to the community board is, how can we help to the community?
Yeah, try my phone. I got to be on a meeting.
And how can we offer our services to community members in your neighborhood? So this is my question to everyone. And I'm going to leave you my phone number, my contact phone number. And I have to say, because I forgot that we are located at 1 Forum Plaza, Suite 1108. And for anyone that need to reach out to us, I'm going to leave you my phone number, 646-771-5505. And my name is Pedro Gonzalez.
Thank you, Pedro.
Thank you for this opportunity.
And welcome. Thank you. There's some information that was put in the chat for you for follow-up.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to continue. Next, Leah Giddens.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Leah, and I'm here today with my colleague Hayden, who is waving, if you can find her face. And we're both from an organization called Women Creating Change. Our colleague Veronica had set this up, and she's sorry she couldn't be here. But we're here today to just talk a little bit about our work and hopefully invite everyone who's here to get involved and to learn more. Our focus at Women Creating Change is to make civic engagement more equitable and to increase specifically civic participation among New York City women who have experienced the most systemic exclusion from these spaces, which we do through different education and action opportunities, policy advocacy, and then community building and different partnerships with the ultimate goal of creating a more just and equitable New York. And specifically, we do this through our main Civic Matters program, which is what it's called, where we aim to remove barriers for engagement for historically disenfranchised communities. So we're really focused on creating safe spaces for women in particular, but we also have broader events where we welcome everybody to attend. And through our Civic Matters program, we have a workshop series. We offer a number of different free workshops and trainings on topics like advocacy, participatory budgeting, knowing your rights. We also are in the process of creating a civic resource hub, which will be an online website aimed to be kind of a one-stop shop for civic engagement. And now I'll pass it over to Hayden to talk a little bit more.
You have 45 seconds left. Thank you.
Great. So we design our workshops based on the feedback from our participants. And so the relevance to you guys, and we've been speaking to other community boards as well, is that we can customize curriculum to your needs. And we, with the overall goal of being really a resource for you all to increase civic engagement amongst women and build a network of people who are seeking to create change in their communities. So we do custom trainings, we have free workshops, and we really just want to help amplify and strengthen all of you on your own projects that you're working on individually as well. So as best as we can be supportive, that's our main goal. And so I'll just drop some information in the chat. You can feel free to sign up for a newsletter, follow us on Civic Matters for upcoming events and
Thank you,
civic
Hayden.
engagement actions.
Time's up.
Of course.
Apologies. We're running a tight ship today. A lot on the
No worries.
agenda.
Thank you.
Make sure you put all of your information on the chat and we'll follow up with to see which committee would be appropriate for you to present a more in-depth presentation. Thank you. Iris, you're next.
I think Ms. Granby was waiting for a long time, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. I'm on the call this evening to speak bike lane traffic. As a business owner for over 39 years on White Plains Road, we've seen our community develop for the better. However, this bike lane has become a hazard to the community as well as to businesses on White Plains Road. White Plains Road being primarily a commercial and residential street, it is very difficult for those businesses on White Plains Road to do their daily business when they are having daily deliveries and we only have a single lane for cars to park. Not only is it that the single lane cars are parked, that means the delivery trucks are now blocking the traffic lane underneath the train trellis, which therefore means that it is also blocking traffic coming to and from north and south, as well as emergency vehicles from traveling in an expeditious manner to their destination points. If you have not traveled on White Plains Road in the various morning hours or evening hours, you have not experienced the traffic delays. I can't even imagine those people who are riding on the bus trying to get to work, how they're now being delayed and made late for their various occupations because of this traffic delay, because everybody is triple parking as if we were the way that the street used to be. So it's become a very difficult time for all. And then not only that, just the fact that there is no direction on how people are parking. Depending upon what side of the street you're on or what block you're on, you either have people angle parking or parallel parking. And not for anything else, I understand the city wants to become a more healthier city and having a bike lane. However, over the last 39 years, I really rarely have seen cyclists, not bike delivery people, cyclists riding up and down White Plains Road. And most times, most cyclists will go down to the Bronx River Parkway Trail to ride their cycles. The thing about it is we need to make sure that this has become a safer way for pedestrians. And my greatest fear is when I have families parked in front of my funeral home during a funeral, a senior citizen getting out of their car and having somebody who, and I've seen this happen, speed up the bike lane.
Ms. Iris, apologies to interrupt. You have 15 seconds left.
Not a problem. My thing is we need to reconsider this bike lane and honestly get rid of it because it's causing more havoc than it's worth. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I invite you to bring that to our committee, Transportation, that Mr. John Isaac chairs. You could put your information in the chat and we'll follow up.
Thank you. I will do so.
Thank you. Catherine, you're next. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Catherine Campbell. I'm from I Raise Girls and Boys International. We've been providing services to the community for the past 10 years. We provide integrative mental wellness services to youth inside of the school systems. And we are now offering free services to our youth to become entrepreneurs. We have entrepreneurship workshops that will be starting this upcoming Monday, which our CEO and founder will be hosting. We will be teaching our young entrepreneurs how to become entrepreneurs, start their business, how to get business funding, and just how to secure contracts. We are inviting youth ages 8 to 19 to come out. It is a free workshop that happens every Monday. I will put the program details and information down below. And it's to every youth ages 8 to 19 that's inside of the Bronx District 12 community. Thank you again, and I'm sorry I had to hurry up and say that before my time was up. I
Thank
hope
you.
you guys have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Dr. Adeyemi next. If you can unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. This is Dr. Adeyemi Lacrown. I'm the president of the 47 Precinct Council. First information that I want to share with us is about our breakfast that is coming up later in the year. That will be April 26th. It's an annual event, but because of pandemic, we've not been able to have it. So thank God that this year we're making sure that this event will come up. So you can get your ticket from any of the council members so that we can celebrate the moment together. The second thing is the fact that, as some of you will be aware, we're in the point of, hiring a new commanding officer for 47 Precinct. So on Monday, we started the process, and I want to thank some of the community members that were able to join the line on Monday, even at short notice. So we're able to interview 2 finalists, and I'm still gathering information about those 2 from community people that attended the session. So by tomorrow, I'll be submitting my report about the 2 of them from what people have said concerning what they observed and what they saw. So hopefully by next week, we'll be able to announce to you the choice that we made, that we're going to make, and who is going to be our commanding officer. The last thing I want to point out is about an incident that is ongoing. Some of us who listened to the news and saw the incidents in Memphis, Tennessee. Today there was a press conference about it, and there is possibility that by tomorrow, I believe 6 p.m. Central Time, the video footage of what happened in Memphis on January 7 will be released. So because of how they've described the video so far, by the people that saw it, it might cause a little bit of tension, but we want to appeal to our own people here that even though you will be exercising your First Amendment by way of protest, we want to appeal to people not to be disruptive, not to be
Mr. Toba,
violent.
10 seconds left. Thank you.
Let us all study the video, and we also know for sure that those cops have been indicted. So please let us be civil about it, even as we watch the video tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toba. Damon, you're next.
Thank you and good evening. This is my first time actually being here for this meeting, so if I'm out of order, you can correct me. The first thing that I would like to say is I would like to be more involved with this community board. I've been a resident in this community for over 30 years, so I'd like to get involved. And when I went online to look for the application to apply to be on a committee, it still had the former borough president's name on it. So I was not sure if that's what I need to complete and send in with his, being that it doesn't have the current president's name on it. My second question, or like, I'm not sure what to do. In my neighborhood where I reside, there's always a lot of illegal parking where there's double parked vehicles that have it's become a nuisance where some of my neighbors, one neighbor took ill and the ambulance couldn't get through because of the double parked vehicles. There's always cars that are parked in front of our hydrant, and we do create 311 tickets, but the 47th precinct is not very responsive. And when they finally do show up, like the vehicles are no longer there. So it's becoming kind of like a nuisance in the neighborhood. So I'm not sure what to do. After I create the 311 tickets, I do call the 41 precinct, and there's never anyone that answers that switchboard. I call repeatedly over and over again, and no one really answers that switchboard. So I don't know what to do in that regard as well. So that was just my two issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Damon. George put some information for you in the chat about the application for a community becoming a board member. And George, any feedback on the rest of his concern?
I can follow up. Damon, I put my information, my email address, and my phone number in the chat earlier. So just scroll and get it. Shoot me your address or where these cars are double parked and everything, and I'll follow up with the neighborhood coordination officers. And just to answer you, the applications, Beatrice, you can correct me. I think we just got the email yesterday or the day before. Yeah. So
it just opened up.
Yeah, it just dropped. And so if you go back to the borough president's website, all the correct information should be there now.
Right. And I believe
thank you so much.
There's a deadline there, so make sure you try and fill it out as soon as possible.
I will. Thank you both.
Thank you, Damon. You're welcome.
I'm sorry, just if I could just interject really quick. It's Alexis from the Borough President's Office.
Yes, please.
The deadline is March 3rd, and the applications are open. They're online. You should be able to access that through the Borough President's website. If not, I can send you the link directly, or you can get it from George or your chairwoman.
Thank you, Alexis. We'll make sure he gets the info. Okay, we're going to move on to Javad.
Hello, hi everyone, good afternoon. I just wanted to direct the board's attention to the corner of Cranford Avenue and White Plains Road. Often there will be a significant amount of flooding and pooling in that area whenever it rains because of things like climate change. We're seeing more rainier days than ever before. In fact, I believe that we're on the longest streak without even seeing any snow, which is good, I guess, but we're getting a lot of rain. And that creates a significant problem because people that are using and utilizing the train, the 2 train that is there on White Plains Road, aren't able to get across the street or go to their homes because they have to cross over what looks like a river or a lake. And I know this might sound like I'm exaggerating, but for anyone who has actually seen the pooling that occurs there, it is a large amount of water that pools in that area. I've called 311 about it and had I believe the New York Department of Environmental Services, they've come and they've tried to unclog that catch basin, but I believe that it doesn't seem like a sufficient problem solution because it just keeps occurring. So I think that we need to look into maybe widening the catch basin, maybe adding another one, or looking in with the Department of Sanitation, looking into plumbing for that. I just wanted to direct everyone's attention to that.
Thank you, Javad. That is a common topic that comes up for us here in this district. Thank you for sharing. George, any feedback on that of what can be done? I know we've spoken about this many times.
Yeah, there's a group up in your neck of the woods, Javad, Wakefield for Change, that has done some stuff on this. We have received the complaints. And as the councilman noted, I don't think he's your councilman. I think you live in the Councilmember Dinowitz's neck of the woods up there in Wakefield, Cranford. But the city council is working on this stuff. But I'll be happy to follow up with you offline to see, and I'll reach out to DEP directly to see if they've taken any added measures to address the issue.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Javad. Thank you, George. Moving on to Diana and James Hunt.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much, Rich, for allowing us to come on. We live on Shefflin Avenue between 222nd and 225th Street. And we've noticed that there's no street cleaning or alternate side parking. And so when we bought this house, we were able to put in some speed bumps. But what we've noticed is that because between 225th and 222nd, there's no street cleaning or alternate side parking, it's become the dumping ground for a lot of what would you say, immobile cars, crashed cars. Now we have a mobile home parked in front of our home, in front of the daycare, and we have just trash, just underneath all the cars that have not moved in over 2 years. And so we've called, there's plates on these cars, but clearly they're immobile because they've been crashed and there's airbags that's flown. So there's no way, we just want to have alternate side parking or street cleaning because both. So if and I know my husband's reached out to Councilmember Riley's office just to see what we can do about that, but I just wanted to bring this to the board's attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Okay, we're going to move on to Bronx DA Said. And is this for Community Speaks? Or are you looking for a representative report, an elected official? Just wanna.
This is for Community Speaks. Good evening, by the way. Hi, everybody. My name is Esai Saintville. I'm with the Bronx District Attorney's Office. I'm a Community Affairs coordinator. This is my second time here at the meeting. Just wanted to provide you guys with some updates to put on your radar. So in April, we'll be having our reentry fair for individuals who are coming out of prison, who may have been arrested, who are dealing with the court system, who are looking to get IDs, employment, or just looking to better their life. So that'll be early April. And then later on in April, later in the month in April, we'll be having our child safety fair where we'll have that during the weekend. It'll be on a Saturday for individuals who have children, parents, teachers that want to come over. It's just going to be about child safety. It's going to be a lot of games, educational tools as well, baggies, giveaways. So that's still in the works. Just wanted to put that on everybody's radar. And finally, we are hiring at the Bronx District Attorney's Office, Community Affairs, one of my positions. We're hiring as well. So if you are interested, I will drop the link in regards to applying, but there are plenty of positions at the Bronx DA's office that you can apply for. If you have any questions, I'll also leave my email for any future questions. Thank you so much, board.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next, we have Luke Mark.
Yes. Hi, good evening. This is my first time actually. I have concerns actually. I take the 30 bus to work every day. And recently the bus has been rerouted from Co-op City to Pelham. And we'll be let off at the Gun Hill to take the 28 or 38. That's causing us for me personally, to get to work late. Is it possible to allow this bus to run in the morning, express or limited stops? I still going to Benbridge and 205 at the evening instead of taking it completely out of the old route. Get everybody off the bus in the morning to wait for the 28, 38. It's causing a lot of congestion. That's my concern, please.
Thank you. Mr. John Isaac, I see you have your hand up.
Is Mr. Stricker on?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead, Mr. Stricker. I yield.
This is amazing.
It's amazing because I was going to talk about it in my, in my segment, but you could go ahead.
No, I just want to tell you, we asked the MTA not to take the bus off Gun Hill Road. To leave it as it is because the congestion at Gun Hill and Boston Road with people transferring is outrageous. It's the BX30 served Evander Child School Complex. It served Montefiore Hospital and the D train. And the people who take the D train now are in a two-fare zone because the transfer from the 30 to the 28 is considered one fare. And when you get off, you don't have the capability of transferring to the D train like you did when the 30 terminated there. We are addressing this, and we hope to get the 30 back where it belongs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stricker. Next, we have up Karishma.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Karishma Piankaru, Intelligence Analyst from the Bronx District Attorney's Office. I'm on here with my colleague Carlos Torres. We wanted to talk to you all about an initiative we have going on at the office. It's a program called Bronx CAMS, that stands for Bronx Community Assisted Mapping System. And basically with this program, it's done on a voluntary basis, and it's basically to register your security cameras, whether it be for a business or your residence, with our office. So if there were any crimes to happen within the area, we would have access to that footage. Again, this is completely voluntary. It's anonymous. No one's going to know that you signed up for it. So if you are interested, I have my information in the chat. You can send us an email and we would be able to forward that information to you.
Thank you so much. I don't see any more hands raised. Okay, so with that, we're going to conclude our public gallery session. And now we're going to go on to elected officials' representative reports. Do we have anyone from elected officials' offices? Any elected official on the line?
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Sydney. I'm here representing Councilmember Dinowitz's office. So I just have a couple quick notes. As everyone may or may not know, discretionary budget applications are open. So our office is now taking applications for discretionary funding for fiscal year 2024. So if you know of an organization that's eligible for council funding, you can just direct them to our office and we are happy to help. Additionally, on that as well, as co-chair of the Bronx delegation, Councilmember Dinowitz hosted a borough-wide training on the application process. We have a recording of that, so anybody can feel free to reach out and we can share that with you if you want to learn more about the process. Also, so just an update on the Woodlawn Library. So on November 30th, we received an update on the progress of the Woodlawn Library. Just as a reminder, the scope of the project remains the same. It's a full renovation that's going to expand the library from 2,500 square feet to 4,000 square feet. The improvements will allow for teen and children's space, an open adult reading area, a dedicated flexible community space, and a lot more. Now onto the updates. So the design process will be completed by September 30th of this year. Construction is to officially start on March 29th of 2024. And the entire project should be completed and the library should be reopened by June 30th of 2026. And they wanted me to relay the message that the delay is largely attributed to DDC capital project process and just kind of how slow and complicated that can be, in addition to just the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Lastly, just some news from City Hall. Councilmember Dinowitz is working really hard on a few pretty cool bills. So a lot of New Yorkers rely on 311, which we talked about a lot tonight, for quick and easy access to all New York City government services and information. So we need a system that works efficiently. Councilmember Dinowitz has two pieces of legislation that will improve the entire system. So Intro 880 will require 311 to provide live chat functionality, and Intro 881 will allow people to request snow and ice removal on pedestrian bridges, and those reports will be routed directly to the appropriate agency. Also, as I'm sure many of you might be aware, last week Intro 660A passed in the council. This bill will help countless students with disabilities make the transition into institutions of higher education, making education as a whole a lot more accessible. And Councilmember Dinowitz sponsored that bill, so that's really exciting. Oh, sorry. Now, lastly, we have some free items available at the office, so feel free to stop by our district office if you are interested in any PPE gear, so rapid tests, masks, hand sanitizer. We have kits ready to go. We also have flood barriers. We have 6-foot and 12-foot inflatable flood barriers, and we also have rat-proof garbage bins. Our address, I'll put this in the chat in addition to my email and the phone number of our office, but we're located at 277 West 231st Street.
Thank you, Sydney. If you can put all the information in the chat, I'm sure there are some members that would want that information, so thank you.
No problem.
Next, we have Alexis. Alexis.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Good evening, Chairwoman Beatrice.
Oh,
I
good
get so happy every
evening.
time I see you. Hi, DM
Likewise.
Torres. Hello, Community Board 12 as a whole. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope that you're all doing well. The Borough President's newsletter should have been sent via email. If you haven't received it, please let me know in a chat and I can send that to you directly, or I can email it to you, whichever you prefer. And also, I wanted to just point out something that came up earlier, and which is like one of our main updates, is that the Borough President's Community Board application is now an online fillable application. I hope that you are all clapping right now. I'm so happy for this. We are no longer using paper. We are electronic. We'll get the copy as soon as you submit your application. Yes, Chairwoman. So we get the copy as soon as you're done filling out your application. You can call me if you have any concerns or just to make sure that I received your application. And the deadline for the application for both new appointments and reappointments is March 3rd. Once again, it's March 3rd, the deadline for the applications. Again, contact me if you have any questions or concerns or you want to make any comments. I'm going to leave my information in the chat and I'll be here for the remainder of the meeting. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Alexis, as always, for informing us. We appreciate it. Next up, we have Renell Ogilvie with Senator Bailey's office.
Hi, this is Renell from State Senator Jamoti Bailey's office. I'm back in the Community Board 12. I haven't been to Community Board 12 since probably 2017, 2018. So I'm back in the district, closer to home. Senator Bailey would like to share his regards. He wasn't able to make it due to a scheduling conflict. Our office is having some events, upcoming events. So January 28th, we have Raise Your Voice, Human Trafficking Awareness Walk and Red Sand Art Project. We are collaborating with Lady Pam, Safe Horizon, New York City Office for the Prevention of Hate Crimes, and other organizations. I can share that in the chat. And then also for the month of February, celebrating Black History, we have Black Expression through the Arts at the YMCA. We're also collaborating with the New York City Department of Education. If you would like to register, I can provide the link in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Any other elected officials, representatives report? Okay, well, that concludes that section, and we're moving on now to our presentation from the door. Are you here?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear
Welcome.
me?
Yes, welcome, and tell us your name.
I'm Siobhan Stewart. I work at the Doors Bronx Youth Center. Do I have the ability to share my screen?
Yes, you do.
All right. Can you see what's up on my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm from the Doors Bronx Youth Center. I'm the supervisor of foster care programming at the Bronx location. We operate out of 2 spaces. I have my contact information listed here, but I just wanted to come on and tell you guys a little bit about who we are and what we do. We are the satellite site of the Door Manhattan, focusing primarily on career and education services for youth ages 16 to 24. Our overall mission is to empower young people to reach their potential by providing comprehensive youth development services in a diverse and caring environment. Essentially, it's to provide holistic services to serve the entire youth, understanding that their existence in our current education programs does not exist without outside the things that are going on as far as like housing security, food insecurity, clothing, hygiene. So we also try to meet those additional needs as well. We have programs in various categories, so education, advanced training, and supportive services. Our education programs look like high school equivalency programs and college prep workshops. There are two HSC programs that we offer. So one is general and anyone can go into it who is ages 16 to 24. And then we have one that is specifically for system involved youth. So they have to have some type of connection to ACS, the foster care system, or the juvenile justice system, and be New York City residents who are legally eligible to work in the USA. What makes this program so different is that it's made to put some additional money in their pocket while they pursue education. So they'll either be paid a stipend to attend the workshops, or they'll be placed in an internship where they can earn money while they are attending classes. Our college prep workshops also provide additional support for those young people once they earn their diplomas to help them go into college and succeed in that first year. So if they have some type of system involvement, they can have an ability to do these $50 monthly check-ins. And they also get a book grant and they'll get money for continuing to be enrolled in college for that whole first year. So the goal is that if we can get them through the first year, they're more likely to stay enrolled. And then we offer 4 types of post-secondary training. So one is EMT, one is IT, we do something with woodlawn and masonry and landscaping, and then we have a Solar One program in green energy construction. Our EMT program is in partnership with Hostos Community College. The young people go through the program for about 8 months. They come up with all of their certifications, and then we help them get placed in a job. Our IT support specialist program, our young people earn CompTIA, IFT, and they do a 175-hour internship over the course of 16 weeks. And then they are eligible to go into job placement with us. So this program is a little different than the other programs because it has very specific requirements for enrollment. So this one, as well as the EMT program, these young people have to have some type of system involvement or barrier in order to enter the program. So that looks like having been homeless or currently homeless, having been involved currently or previously with the juvenile justice, foster care systems, being an English language learner, having a child, having an IEP or a disability. All of these types of things automatically qualify them, as well as their address. So if their address comes up in a high poverty zone, they will automatically qualify for these 2 programs, the EMT and IT programs. And then there's our partnership with Woodlawn. This program is pretty unique because our young people are working out the Woodlawn cemetery to earn different certifications to help them either landscape properties like this, do masonry, and something they've added is bronzing. So they're also learning how to like deal with different types of materials within the construction field. So they get all of their OSHAs, all their site safety, and they get placed in jobs. Then Solar One is our green energy construction. This program is specifically for young people who have system involvement. So again, having that juvenile justice or foster care involvement, and they learn how to do green energy construction with a partner out of Long Island City called Solar One. They get a 250-hour internship, they get their certifications, and then we help place them into employment. And then our holistic approach is all of the supportive services we offer. So our LEAP program is something that is for any youth experiencing any type of system involvement, homelessness, foster care, juvenile justice. They get support for the whole first year of that program by these 10 monthly check-ins for $50 each one. It's essentially made to work on different goals and help them support with whatever crisis or other resources they need. So they would get that for the entire year that they're in their first placement. So whether that's training in Hostos or training at LaGuardia or being in college. And then there's the Academy program, which is a program that I directly oversee. This program specifically works with young people who have some type of foster care ACS history, including kinship care, including adoption, preventative services, any of those. And we provide counseling, we provide housing and benefit support. Something new that we're doing is parenting support. We do youth leadership opportunities. So like some of the young people in this picture here are youth leaders who work with me throughout the year to gain leadership skills. They plan events, they build graphics, they work on our socials. And so they really get to have this sense of like independence, and they're also the voice of the young people their age. So they're checking to see what they need and helping them get those things and bringing in those types of resources to them. We additionally offer a 100-hour internship for people who are in HSC classes, so they need to make some additional money and have a foster care background. They can work for up to 100 hours, earning $15 an hour. We like to do like trips, life skills workshops, things that are going to help them age out of care successfully. These are just some of the things that we have coming up in parenting. So we have anger management coming up. We just kicked off parenting journey today. We'll have some virtual workshops with a doula, and then we're going to do a drop-in group. So parents have expressed the need for wanting a place to just be able to like vent, talk, get advice. So we're trying to respond to what the needs of our youth parents are. And so every month there's going to be a workshop catered to some need within that parenting community. And as I mentioned, we are a satellite site. So our main home is based out of Broome Street, which is the Door Soho. We're celebrating 51 years yesterday. That space is kind of like an all-encompassing space. So within that one building, there are legal services, there are arts and recreation, there's counseling, housing support, drop-in services, including shower, laundry, meals, and pantry. And so when you become a member in either space, you get access to both spaces. You can do HSE classes, college prep there as well. And then they have additional training programs. So their training programs are a little bit different. We share IT, but they also have certified medical admin assistant. They have a culinary program, and then they have some retail programs.
Savon, 3 minutes left.
Okay. How to join this is they can easily become a door member. They can either walk into our downtown space or they can email membership@door.org and do the entire process virtually. And to join a program, as specifically in the Bronx, they would need to come in and do intake, which happens every Wednesday at 1:30. They need to bring proof of age, address, and social. This will help expedite the process in getting them enrolled in a program. I've also included like a fill out form for them to request information. I'm typically the person who responds to this, so I can connect them directly to the program that they're interested in. This is all of our contact information. I think one of the most special things that's happening for us this year is we're getting a brand new space. It's over 18,000 square feet. We're going to be over 3 floors. And so we're super excited about it and hoping that it's going to happen this spring.
Thank you so much. I've heard amazing things about the door. On my work hat, I've made referrals to the door in the past. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and giving us the information. Make sure you put it in the chat so that we're all aware.
Madam
Thank you
Chair,
so
I
much.
just want to thank Ms. Stewart. I appreciate you so very much. Please be safe, and we'll talk, of course, back and forth.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Sickerson, for connecting us.
No problem.
Okay, and now we're going to move on. This concludes our presentation. Now we're going to move on to my report. I just want to thank all of you. I see a lot of faces here. I've been connecting with you individually, and it really warms my heart to have you here present. This is the purpose. Ms. Benita has just mentioned that we have a quorum today, which sometimes is hard to meet, so I appreciate you all being here. And what I want to do now is pass over the mic quickly to our chairs of each committee, just so that our new board members can understand the magnitude and the importance of our committees and why it's important for you to be involved, not just participate in our general board meetings, but also in the committees that you've been assigned to. I've assigned everyone at this point to committees or reassigned them, reappointed them. And so please take a look at that. I also sent you the calendar. Make sure that you are aware of when meetings are happening and the time. And with that, I'll start off with Ms. Judith Benitez, Chair of the Economic Development and Business Services Committee.
Good evening, everyone. As you just heard, I'm the chair currently of the Economic Development Services. What we try to do is we work with the business community and city agencies to promote business development. And also another main portion of our committee work is working with local businesses to review any and all new liquor license requests. So very simply, I'm saying to you very simply, that is what's currently happening with our Economic Development Committee.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Ms. Carla Borsati, Chair of the Standing Committee on Environmental Concerns.
Oh, hi, everyone. So the Environmental Concerns Committee focuses on issues with immediate local community impact, as well as broader issues impacting the environment. So On local level, we will escalate trash complaints to our DSNY contacts and address other community concerns about trash in the community. In the past, we've offered workshops on other issues of local community concern, like lead poisoning prevention, home energy conservation, and how to deal with feral cat communities. We communicate changes in trash collection times and Department of Health training programs in rat mitigation. Not a popular topic particularly, but necessary. On the broader level, we liaise with contacts at various agencies and organizations with the goal of expanding services like curbside composting and textile recycling in the Bronx. We're currently liaising with the Solid Waste Advisory Board, which is also lobbying for reinstatement of curbside composting pickup in the Bronx. So, thank you.
Great, thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Robert Hall, Chairman of the Standing Committee on Housing.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not used to being on a phone, so I want to apologize for this. But in any event, housing is housing, all right? There's most folks no longer own the homes in these particular areas. They're renting. So you don't have but so many block associations. However, housing deals with the remaining block associations, and they also do the best they can to keep up with the housing that is being developed. And what we do is staunch the developers to make sure that the basics are in place. And when I say basics, I'm talking about the proper car space, things of that nature. When these developers come to us and they want to set up shop to build something. So we kind of hold them accountable to the best of our know-how, and we work synonymously with the land use when I yield to Mr. Harry Singh and Carl Stricker. So that's the basics for housing, all right? So, and there's types. There's affordable housing and there's low-income housing. So you have to differentiate between the two and understand what's in the best interest of the community with this being the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Next up, we have Ms. John Cloud. She's the chairwoman of the Standing Committee on Libraries and Cultural Affairs. Ms. Claude, can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Our community has changed drastically, and help is urgently needed to make positive changes. So the Library and Cultural Affairs Committee is committed to taking up the challenge and doing its part to address the situation at hand. Therefore, we will introduce programs conducive to social engagement and development. We will ensure the inclusion of all cultures. We include climate-related programs. We will collaborate with like-minded groups in the delivery of these programs. We will adapt and modify when and where necessary to ascertain the well-being of all. We have all these programs that everyone can participate in, and that they will leave the meeting or the workshop informed about what we talked about in the community. That's my mission statement.
Thank you, Ms. Claude. We appreciate it. Next up, we have Mr. Carl Stricker, Chair of the Standing Committee on Land Use.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Land use is a very unique committee because we handle a lot of different issues in the area concerning what gets built. And I'll give you an example. If a developer comes in and wants to build a a 10-story or 12-story building, whether it's affordable housing or a rental or co-op, and he wants to build it in an area which is not zoned for it, we hold a public hearing if there's any objections to the rezoning. Most times we get a lot of objections because everybody wants to keep their block looking like it is. And that's why the zoning for large development buildings is usually along the main arteries such as White Plains Road, Webster Avenue, Bronxwood Avenue, et cetera, et cetera. And they come to us, they present what they want to do. We tell them what we don't like about what they're doing and ask them to make some changes. And then we may honor their requests for a zoning change so they can build a building. And one thing I have to tell you, when we make a recommendation, it's only advisory, because when they're building buildings, it goes to the city council, and city council has to approve it. It goes through a whole ULURP procedure. It goes to the borough president's office, and then it goes to the city council. So we can say yes to a building, and the city council turns it down. We can say no to a building, and they approve it. So we're only advisory, but we still have an important part in the community to keep the community looking the way it looks. Now, we have a lot of 1 and 2 family homes in this area, sometimes 3 when they illegally convert the garage to an apartment. And, we want to keep the community looking the way it is. I mean, we don't mind major, improvements, as long as they're building within the guidelines of what their zoning is. Zoning is a very complicated issue because it runs a whole rampant of different zones, what you can build, and a lot of them have commercial overlays, which means you also could put a commercial establishment in the area that's zoned residential, as long as it meets the guideline. So that's what our job is, and I've been a chair for quite a while, and I love the job because I want to keep our community upscale community and make it a better community so the people who live here can enjoy their life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carl Stricker. Next up, we have Ms. Denise Bond, Chairwoman of the Standing Committee on Parks and Recreation.
Good evening, all. Ms. Chair, I just have a quick question. Should we also give highlights of what the committee has done this past year, or just the mission?
Just the mission for now.
Okay, perfect. All right. My name is Denise Bond. I'm the chairperson for Parks and Recreation Committee. Our mission statement is, in the Parks and Recreation Committee of Community Board 12 seeks to enhance, maintain, and create parks and green spaces that benefit the emotional and mental well-being of our all community members. We value the importance of these spaces within our borders as an essential part of the quality of life in our community. We partner with all advocacy and coalition groups who seek the necessary budget from our public officials to continue our mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bond. Next up, we have Mr. Alfredo Figueroa, Chairman of the Public Safety Committee.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Alfredo Figueroa, Chair of the Public Safety Committee. Our committee basically is the midpoint between the community and city agencies such as the NYPD, Fire Department, OEM. Our committee works closely with the Transportation Committee for some of the issues that comes to our committee, also goes to the Transportation Committee. So we try to combine the meetings when we can. If anyone has any particular issues that has to do with public safety and they've exercised if they exercise everywhere they could possibly go and they need my help for something, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alfredo. Next up, we have Mr. John Isaac, Chairman of the Transportation and Capital Projects Committee.
Hi guys, good evening. The Transportation Committee, to me, is like a crossover committee because I work with a lot of different committees like education, um, the safety committee, and we make sure that all the issues around transportation is taken care of. One of the things that evolving is all the new technology with the e-bikes and all that stuff. Um, we just need people to get involved because all this new technology is actually shaping our community. A lot of the major true fairs are being renovated, and there are new master plans that's going to be going through this neighborhood that's going to be affecting how we live. Gun Hill Road, Boston Road, all these major streets are being redesigned. White Plains Road. When I'm sitting down here and I'm saying to myself, when we were meeting about White Plains Road, no one came out with DOT. No one said no. No one's, and I was like, where? And that was in my report. Where were all the business people? Because I know it was going to impact the businesses, but no one came out. Um, but we take care of everything with transportation. I still would like to see my gateway train stations, which is 241st Street and Dyer Avenue, somehow renovated because those are the gateways where these stops have like no elevators and they're not ADA accessible, and they should be to me. Um, so as I was a train planner, and as a planner, your gateway should always be presentable and welcoming, and they're not. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. John Isaac. Last but not least, we have Ms. Talene Dickerson. She's chairwoman of the Standing Committee on Education and Youth Services.
I like that little clap right there, Fredo. Good evening, family. You got the opportunity to have a little taste of what I do with the Education and Youth Services by having Miss Catherine Campbell on from iRaise and Siobhan Stewart from The Door. I'm a little old school, so what I've always believed and what I know for sure is if we don't find something for our youth to do, somebody else will find something for them to do. And I'm not sure if we all want that somebody else to have control over our children. So I'm just going to read you like a little bit of my mission. And the Education and Youth Services Committee collaborates with public and private schools, colleges, and universities, teachers and parents or guardians, along with all community stakeholders to ensure positive educational outcomes for our community. I put my information in the chat. You can call me anytime. Doesn't matter, day or night. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all the chairs. I just want to make quick mentions. We do have some new board members, so I just want to give them a quick shout out. Desiree Campbell, Queenie Paniagua, Dr. Sherry Samuels, Benga Subir, Deborah Walker, Ryan Walters, and Chris Devon. Thank you all for joining us and being part of our board. Next up, we have our district manager's report.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. I may be a few days late in wishing you a Happy New Year. I do not have much information other than the Borough President's Office sending us the link for the new Community Board application. That's already been spoken to. The submission is completely online, so you do not have to worry about printing the application anymore. I would encourage all of you, especially new board members and those of us who have been here for a little bit, to send it out to your fellow neighbors to see if they're interested in joining not just our community board. If you have coworkers that live in the Bronx, encourage them to apply. Even if they don't live here, they can apply. The community board application is the same for anybody that lives in the Bronx. And they can apply to their respective boards. Additionally, the mayor has extended our ability to meet virtually until September 15th, which was forwarded by the chair and Ursula to all our board members. So we will notify the board if anything changes, but right now we're still able to meet virtually. And in conclusion, today marks my 2,733rd day as your district manager, or 7 years, 5 months, and 23rd day of my tenure here, and grateful for each and every day at the board. Thank you for your patience, and good night.
Thank you, George. Thank you, George, for everything you and Ursula do. George, you said September 15th. Did you mean February 15th?
I'm sorry, yes, February 15th.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and I thank you to you. Everybody should know, all the board members should know, we were audited by the the Equal Employment Practices Commission by the City of New York. This is probably our 6th audit in the 7 years that I've been the district manager, twice by this one agency. And B has basically had to undertake this as a chair. It's an unheralded position. She's had to write the letter. She's had to respond to these things, and it's not easy. I mean, it is very, very confusing. I am a veteran of the city, and it's not the easiest thing to do. So thank you, B, for your leadership on this.
Thank you. Thank you for the backup and the support. And I do want to mention that Ursula is not here today. Her mom wasn't feeling well this morning, so we're going to keep her in our prayers. Ursula and George do a lot. I'm learning a lot from them, and the rest of you, I thank you all for welcoming me and mentoring me. Truly appreciate that. And so with that, we're going to move on to the next section of our agenda, approval of board minutes. So they're not ready at the moment. So I'm going to ask for a motion to table approval of the minutes for our November 17th, 2022 general board meeting.
So moved.
Great. A second?
Second.
A second.
Great. We're moving on to the next part, financial report. Ms. Dickerson?
Yes. It's very easy, very simple. We are at the Sunshine Fund. Our balance is $2,625. All of you new members, please reach out. My information is in the chat, and I can give you more information about a few things. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dickerson. We're moving on to the next session, committee reports. And just a reminder to the chairs, please make sure that you're including me when you're sending the reports so that I have access to them as well. And so we are now going to move ahead with our committee reports and then voting items. First up, we have Ms. Judith Benitez with the Economic Development and Business Services Committee.
Good evening again. The Economic Development Committee met last Thursday, and we had 4 establishments that were up for either being a new or renewal of their license, their liquor license. All 4 were came back with clean reports for the 4-7 precinct. We had no complaints at all about any of those establishments. So what I'm bringing to the board tonight is to have recommendations to either have a new or a renewal on these liquor licenses and send a letter of support to the State Liquor Authority. And I'm going to give you the names of the establishments that are involved. The first one is up for a new license, and that is Fronto Star, located at 3376B Boston Road. They're Caribbean food, if no one knows anything about them. The other 3 are for renewal of their licenses: Classique, located at 3813 Boston Road; 222, or as you all know it in the neighborhood as Triple Deuce, located at 3601 Boston Road; and Fireside Pub, located at 4272 Katona Avenue. These are the 3 that we are requesting or recommending to the board to have their licenses either be new or renewed.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the report?
Make a motion to accept Ms. Benitez's report for the liquor license renewals or new licenses or renewals.
Thank you, Ms. Alfredo. Can I second?
Second.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac. You second. Okay, and so now we're going to move to approve the request and vote for a letter of support.
Okay, Ms. Coronel, let's get a motion to approve the minute, the report first, and then we can go into the second part.
I did. That's what they right? This is what Mr. Alfredo and Mr. Isaac motioned.
We got to get a motion for the board to approve.
Got it.
I'm trying to be nice.
Motion for the board to approve.
So moved.
Okay.
Now, if you're gonna say, do we have a mass approval from the board, or do we have any negatives? And can we do it at one time for the motion to approve the minutes? What is the will of the community board? You want me to go individually?
We should do one individual, and this might be the one to do.
Okay, we'll do it that way. Judith Benitez? Aye. Denise Bond?
Aye.
Ivan Boras?
Aye.
Paula Barsati?
Aye.
Jill Brumfield?
Aye.
Jill?
Aye.
Victor Brown?
Abstain.
Deacon Brown? Norbert Bryan?
Aye.
Desiree Campbell?
Aye.
Sadie Campbell? Sadie Campbell? Sadie Campbell?
Sadie, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Sadie?
Aye.
Thank you. Joan Clark?
Aye.
Beatrice Cornell?
Aye.
Chris Devone? Not present. Colleen Dickerson?
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger? Not present. Alfredo Figueroa?
Aye.
Johnny Goff?
Aye.
Robert Hall?
Aye.
Lisa Hayes? Lisa Hayes?
I saw she was here.
She's
She's actually still there.
She's here. Lisa, can you unmute yourself?
She's unmuted. Lisa, are you voting?
Need these votes, guys.
I'm going to go on. John Isaac?
Aye.
Theodore James? Theodore James?
Yes.
Keisha Martin? Keisha Martin? I'm marking her not present.
Ms. Benitez, Ms. Hayes said aye on the chat.
I got it. Thank you. Lucille Martin? Lucille?
Aye.
Trinika Moore?
Aye.
Clinton Mike?
Aye.
Yeah.
Carmen Ortiz?
Aye.
Queenie Penagagua?
Aye.
Thank you. Anthony Reed?
Aye.
Dr. Sherry Samuels?
Aye.
Harry Singh?
Aye.
Carl Stricker?
Aye.
Venga Sabea?
Aye.
Luke Sabados? Deborah Tirado?
I'm gonna send it to, yes, yes.
Who's
Good
this?
evening. Deborah
Is this
Tirado.
Deborah Tirado?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Deborah Walker is excused.
Aye.
Deborah Walker, you're here?
Yes, I am. Aye.
Oh, thank you. All right. Ryan Walters. Ryan Walters. Esther Yama.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you. So this concludes your section here, right, Ms. Benitez?
Now we gotta vote on the establishments. If no one objects, can we do all four of them at the same time?
Yes.
Okay?
I make a motion that we send a letter to the State Liquor Authority approving the Economic Development Corporation, Economic Development Committee's recommendation that we have the 3 pubs have a renewal and we give a new license to a newbie.
This is Robert Hall. I second.
And Robert Hall seconds that request. Let me ask this question. Instead of me going individually, I'm going to ask who is in the negative. I need a verbal from that person.
Victor Brown, negative.
Anyone else? Anyone who is going to abstain? I need to hear that. Any abstentions? Luke, are you voting in the affirmative?
Yes, sorry, I'm trying to mute myself.
Okay. Any recusals? Anyone know these establishments or connected in any way with these establishments? Do I have an affirmative from the full board?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Victor Brown.
Aye.
I thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Benitez. Thank you. Next up, Mr. John Isaac with the Transportation and Capital Improvement Report.
Beatrice, we're gonna do the report, and then also we're gonna just list out. I'm gonna have Luke just list out our goals for the upcoming year. I'm gonna do a report real quick. Essentially, due to the nature of our last meeting, which was held on January 12th at Thursday at 7 p.m. It was a joint meeting with Public Safety and the Education Department, Education Committee. I'm sorry. This was surrounding PS 68 and PS 189, and both schools were having problems with the kids unloading or our children unloading from the buses, and it all stems from a lack of courtesy with the people speeding in this neighborhood, and DOT, we're asking for a letter so that to support DOT to perform a study to turn those streets into a one-way streets. So that's essentially it. There are a lot of things that we were actually trying, like a PS 68, the 47 percent dropped off, some barricades, and it's been successful so far. Principal Soleil has been out there early in the morning manning the barricades when she should actually be inside, teaching the class and preparing for our little young ones. But she's actually out there making sure our parents are not running over other kids outside. So it's a bad situation, and these are one of the things that we have to deal with. And so I would like a vote to support a study of these both schools and have a letter sent to DOT to study the transportation or circulation around these two schools.
So moved.
Second.
Done.
Okay.
Are
So
we-
that was go ahead, Judith.
Just one thing, we have to accept his report and then we can go into his request.
Right. Can I get a motion for the board to accept the report and approve?
So
Ivan
moved.
Boris. Okay, second.
Thank you. Michelle, you got that?
The second person was Ivan?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay, and now can I get a vote for letter of support
Right.
for a school safety transit study for PS 68 and PS 189?
So moved.
Quick question. This is also for the one-way conversion as well, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and also, Beatrice, I just want to note that we actually sent letters before to MTA about the BX30 on Boston Road to ask them to have the bus remain the way it is, because they're impacting, you know, the hospital, the schools, the whole neighborhood has changed because of this bus. So
John, that was the BX30 to return to its original route.
yes. So we wanted to return to its original route. So I would actually like the board to have to okay a second letter, even though we sent an initial letter. I want another letter sent, you know, in support of them returning this back to the way it was.
Okay, this is Robert Hall. I make a motion that we send a letter to the MTA to get the 30 bus rerouted back up Gun Hill Road to appease those in the medical field.
Second
And the school system avenge a child.
I second it, Anthony.
And I have a question, John, are we talking about a rerouting or returning to the original?
It returned to its original route.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, thanks for your support. There's a lot of changes coming up. Luke is going to do a presentation about the things that we're going to be looking at. We will revisit White Plains Road. We will revisit a lot of the issues that we're having. So please pay attention. You know, we need support. When DOT comes in front of us, right, we need the community's backing on these changes and these ideas, because it's kind of heartbreaking to hear later that, oh, we didn't want these bike lanes, we didn't want this, but no one came out to the meeting. Luke, floor is yours.
John, we need to take a vote first before
Yeah,
the
just
Luke
before
speaks.
that, I have a
vote.
question. So you have two motions there. You made the motion to accept the study for the PS for the school for the direction. So you have that one.
Okay.
And then you brought one for the second letter of support for the rerouting of the BX30.
And
Are
also,
you voting for them together? I mean, you made two motions, right? They were
no,
both
it's got to be
first and
three
second.
altogether,
I'm
Michelle.
not clear. I'm not clear.
Okay, Michelle, the first one, it will be for the approval of the minutes for Transportation Committee report. The second motion will be for the study, the letter.
Letter of support.
Right.
To DOT for school safety transit study.
Right, for both PS 68 and PS 189. And the third motion will be for the second letter of support, and this one is going to go to the MTA, am I correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, to return Bronx 30 to its original route.
Yes.
There's three motions on the table. I'm going to call, and I'm going to do a roll call for this just to make sure that we have everyone in agreement. And then after that, we can do a joint motion. Vote for that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Judith Benitez, aye. Denise Bond,
Aye.
Ivan Boris,
Aye.
Carla Bassati. Carla Bassati.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Michelle Bromfield,
Aye.
Victor Brown,
Aye.
Deacon Brown.
Aye.
Are you here?
Yes, Deacon Brown said aye.
Thank you. Was he here before?
Yes, he was.
Okay, then I have to make some corrections. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Norbert Bryan. Norbert. Norbert Bryan.
It was just on.
He's here. You can unmute yourself, Mr. Norbert Bryan. You're muted at the moment. We could see you, but we can't hear you.
Norbert, give a thumbs up.
Okay, thank you. Desiree Campbell.
Aye.
Sadie Campbell.
Aye.
Joan Claude.
Aye.
Chris Devon. Not present. Charlene Dickinson.
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger. Alfredo Figueroa.
Aye.
Johnny Goff.
Aye.
Robert Hall.
Aye.
Lisa Hayes. Is she giving any signal or what?
Let me see if I see her.
She should probably respond in the chat because she said something's up with her phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Just
looking
call me.
for.
Lisa, we see that you're here. If you can, please put it in the chat.
Oh, and if you're not on camera, please,
She
if
just
you're on
said
camera,
aye.
please.
She just
Okay,
said aye, Ms.
thank-
Benitez.
Okay. John Isaac,
Aye.
Theodore James,
Aye.
Keisha Martin. Not present. Lucille Martin. Lucille Martin. Oh, Jesus. Lucille Martin. Okay.
He's here. Lucille, we see that you're here. If you can unmute yourself or please put it in the chat.
Shaniko Moore.
Aye.
Clinton Mike.
Aye.
Carmen Ortiz.
Aye.
Queenie Paniagua.
Hi. I'm sorry, guys. This is Lucille Martin. The phone wasn't letting me unfreeze.
Okay,
Unmute.
please leave your mic open so when we start voting, we can go straight through. Thank you. Anthony Reed.
Aye.
Dr. Sherry Samuels.
Aye.
Harry Singh.
Aye.
Carl Stricker.
Aye.
Venga Savaya.
Aye.
Luke Sabados.
Hi, I'd like to vote aye on the first two and then abstain from the third. If we could invite the MTA to talk about that bus stop, I'd like to hear more.
Luke, we battle it out with them over and over again. We have to be very strong on this. You've got hundreds of people that are disenfranchised every day, and some people now have to pay double fares. It's unfair to our community.
Are you still standing with the abstention?
Yeah, I'd just like to, if we could invite the MTA, I would like to hear from them. And I just, if there's any data, there's got to be a reason. And I'm not voting against this. I just would like to get more.
We had many meetings with the MTA, Rick.
Okay, let's move on. He's abstaining, and it has, that's his right to do so. Deborah Torado. Deborah Torado.
Yes.
Deborah Walker.
Aye.
Ryan Walters. Esther Yemen. Esther Yema. Esther, you were here before. Beatrice Coronel.
Aye.
The ayes have it. And I have one extension for the third one. Is anybody else abstaining for the third motion? Everyone is saying a yay? Aye.
Yeah, aye.
Okay, thank you very
Aye.
much, all.
Great. Now we're moving on to Parks and Recreations
Actually,
report.
not yet, Beatrice. We have our goals that we wanna to just.
Yeah, can we just go through the votes, Mr. John Isaac, and then we'll get to, we don't want to lose any more members.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Ms. Bond.
Good evening once again. The Parks and Recreation Committee, we had a meeting, which is unusual, I know, for us, but we had a meeting on December 13th, and the meeting was so that we could get the information from the Wakefield Association in reference, I'm sorry, from the Woodlawn Association in reference to the renaming of Indian Field. So it was a good meeting in terms of getting the history of why the field was first with that name and why they want to have a name change at this conjuncture. So the committee, we then voted and we agreed that they should get a letter of support from us, and we are now bringing it to the full board for a vote.
What do they want to rename it?
They have not decided totally yet on what the renaming should be, but they are leaning towards something honoring, and off the top of my head at this late hour, I'm sorry, I don't remember the chief's name, but it was a chief who also fought alongside the Northern soldiers for to help in the fight during the Civil War. So that's what they're leaning towards, something honoring, because there is a statue of him in I'm sure you're aware, Mr. Stricker, in the Woodlawn area. And so I think it's I'm sorry, it's a late hour for me. I'm tired from working all day. I forget the name now, but in any event, it's in the Woodlawn area, and they want to rename the Indian Field after him. So that was.
I'm
Say
sorry.
again?
I would like to, put that as the name of the person, the Indian chief, in the motion. So,
But
we can.
Mr. Stricker, they did not ask for that. They're not asking for that. Because they have not decided yet. They haven't decided yet. They want a renaming, but they haven't decided yet on what exactly. If they're going to include the chief's name in it somehow, but they're not sure exactly how yet. So,
Okay, well, so
I don't want to hold up. I don't want to hold up the letter of support.
Well, the key is we can support them by changing the name, and then they decide to go somewhere else and get a name that doesn't deserve to be on the field. I'm concerned what they're going to name it after we approve it.
Mr. Stricker, if respectfully, the meeting, if you were at the meeting, they did go over the whole presentation, and it all revolved around the chief and his part in helping the soldiers. So they're not going in a different direction. It's just a matter of the semantics of it, of how they're going to be phrasing that.
Okay.
Sorry, this is Carla. I'm with Carl Stricker on, we can't have a vote to rename something to a name we don't know. I'm a little bit.
They weren't asking for our input. Excuse me, Ivan, if I could finish my statement. Thank you.
Sure.
We're not asking asking us for our input at this juncture. They just want to let us understand that they want the name Indian Field today in 2023 is not appropriate. So they want to change the name, but they are working out the semantics of it. I don't think that we should hold up our support to them in their efforts until they actually finalize what the name is going to be.
Okay. Ms. Bond? Ms. Bond?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Robert Hall. I just want to be sure that the conversation that you had at this meeting, it deals with the renaming of an Indian, all right? We just don't know the name. Is that correct?
Mr. Hall, the name of the field currently is Indian Field.
Okay.
The name of the field currently is Indian Field, and that's culturally insensitive at this point.
Okay.
Is everyone clear on that? That's culturally insensitive?
So.
Okay.
Yes.
So my question is this: the conversation that you had at your meeting,
yes,
it assures the fact that they are going to find the name of an historical Indian. Is that correct?
Yes. Hold on 1 second and let me get the name for you. It's just that I've had a long day, so I'm a little bit tired and memory is a little bit not as sharp. Hold on 1 moment and I'll get that.
Madam Chair, Ms.
Beatrice, if you could just give me 1 minute to finish my statement, Mr. Boris. If you could just
Ms. Bond,
go
I
on
only,
to the
I
next
only,
person.
Ms. Bond, I only wanted to support you. So I mean, if you don't want
Yeah,
that,
but
then
just let
that's
me
fine.
finish my statement though.
Yeah, let's just give her, let's give her a minute. In the meantime, Miss Benitez, Miss Aster Yemmer is back.
Okay.
Did you want to take her vote?
Yeah, are you voting on the last two issues? Did you hear them, Esther, or what?
Yes, I did hear them. I apologies. I was.
Okay. All right, then I have your vote. Thank you very much.
Okay, and you got Luke's votes for the previous ones? I know he put something in the chat, Miss Benitez.
Who, for Luke?
Yes.
I heard that he's abstaining on the third motion for the MTA letter. I already have that. Thank you.
Okay. This is the last voting matter, so we're going to give her a few more seconds and then we'll move on. I know that because of the fire, we're seeing in the chat that Desiree lost power, and so she may have had to log off. So I kind of want to speed through this because that may be the case for a few others that are on this call.
Okay, so I'm right here. It was Chief Abraham Ninham, and it was the Revolutionary War. And what they're trying to work out is the semantics of how they are going to use his name. There's already a statue located in Woodlawn area honoring him, which has been maintained by the Daughters of the
Revolution.
Thank you. The Daughters of the Revolution, DAR. So they have been maintaining the statue. They have a ceremony every year. And so they are trying to incorporate the way that they are going to then honor his efforts during the Revolutionary War. So it's a matter of how they're going to use his name. So if they're going to call it Chief Ninham Field or Ninham Field, they're trying to distinguish that. They're not looking to rename it anything that would be of objection to the community. They're trying, in fact, they're trying to do the very opposite of that.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Okay.
May I ask a question, Denise, in reference to the chief's name? Why the urgency to do a letter of support prior to the establishing for sure that they're going to use Chief, what you just said, Abraham or whomever?
Abraham Ninham. Yes, no, they're going to definitely use it, but what they were trying to, they wanted to meet with us before, but by the time they had to get the presentation together, so there were some other preliminary discussions that took place before they did their presentation. So I did not feel that it would be appropriate to have them wait until January after them doing all of this research and putting everything together for us. So that's why we had the meeting in December.
By the way, he was a chief in the Oneida tribe.
Thank you, Mr. Carl. Any further questions? Our Vice Chair, did you have your hands up? Mr. Clinton Mike?
That was a mistake, sorry.
Okay. Okay, then. Any further questions before we move to accept the committee report?
I make a motion, we accept the report of the committee.
Can we get a second?
Second, Clinton.
Clinton Mike seconds that. Our Vice Chair, Michelle?
I'm going to call a vote.
Okay.
Judith Benitez, aye. Denise Bond,
Aye.
is someone talking right now? Ivan Boris,
Aye.
Paula Basadi,
Aye.
Michelle Brumfield,
Aye.
Victor Brown,
Aye.
Deacon Brown,
Aye.
Norbert Bryan.
Aye.
Is Desiree on or is she still off?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Aye.
Oh, hi. Aye,
Aye, yes, ma'am.
thank you. Sadie Campbell,
Aye.
Joan Claude,
Aye.
Chris Devon, Tolene Dickerson,
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger, Alfredo Figueroa,
Aye.
Johnny Goff,
Aye.
Robert Hall,
Aye.
Lisa Hayes, anybody see where she's?
She says aye in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I see it, thank you. John Isaac,
Aye.
Theodore James,
Aye.
Keisha Martin, not present. Lucille Martin,
Aye.
Janika Moore,
Aye.
Clinton Mike,
Aye.
Carmen Ortiz, okay, I heard you. Queenie Paniagua,
Aye.
thank you. Anthony Reed,
Aye.
Sherry Samuels,
In the meeting.
Harry Singh,
Aye.
Paul Stricker,
Aye.
Benga Saber, Benga,
Aye.
thank you.
Aye, thank you.
Luke Sabados,
Luke, we didn't hear you.
give your hands up, thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, thank you.
Aye.
I got it. Deborah Torado,
Deborah put in the comment section that her power went out, so she had to handle a few things and had to go.
Okay, so she didn't hear anything then?
No, not for this part.
Okay. Deborah Walker,
Aye.
Ryan Walters. No, there's Esther,
Aye.
Beatrice Coronel.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And now we're going to call a motion for the board to approve the support of the letter for the renaming of the Indian Field.
So moved.
Second, properly moving second.
May I ask a question? Denise, would there be any objections inserting that name? Or you feel that they would be offended if you put that name in?
I'm so sorry. Please repeat.
Would they have objections for us using the Indian chief's name in the letter of support? We can fill it in later, but at least something, we should put something there. Just not just
If you could
because
put it, if you wanted to phrase it in honor of, that's fine. In honor of his service, that would be fine. But I would not want to, like, they were not asking for us to give our opinion about the name. That's not what they were asking. So I wouldn't want. We can say in honor of, yes. How, and no specific name should be given because they were not asking for that. And I can put the spelling of his name in the chat.
Yeah.
If you'd like.
Thank you all. Are we clear to move on, Ms. Benitez?
Is whatever the board wants to do on this.
We have to put something, we're going to the Parks Department to ask for a change of a name of a park. You have to put something in, what are you gonna rename?
May I?
So
Well, we're not doing the, okay, go ahead.
who's the letter going to? It has to go to Parks Department.
So
That's not what I was saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to support you, Ms. Bond. Just for clarity, and hopefully I can hopefully support Ms. Bond in her statement and as to what was addressed. So basically they brought to us the fact of name change. One of the suggestions was the chief. That doesn't necessarily mean that the park will be named after the chief, but in order for the name change to take place, it had to be addressed first. So again, the name change can come after this. This letter of support should have just been for a name change, not as to what the name should actually be, if that makes any sense, and if that brings any clarity to all of this.
It does. It does, but one question, suppose they come up with a name that most people are opposed to, and we already approved the name change.
So that's the thing. It would not, that would come out again. So we would then come again with another letter of support for that name change, for that specific name change. That's what I was trying to chime in for, and I was trying to clarify before we even took this vote.
Well, that
Okay,
that makes
understood.
sense. That what you just said makes sense.
Yeah, I was trying, but I kept getting cut off.
But that's what I had said to you.
Okay, that does make sense, but then I'm also saying, like knocking off two birds with one stone. We do it all at the same time instead of trying to break it up to two letters of support. Why? That's why I want to understand the urgency of doing this vote.
So to clarify once again, what the meeting was about, it was why the name Indian Field is not at this juncture in 2023, that it's culturally insensitive to keep the name Indian Field on this area. Is that part understood?
It's understood.
Okay. So What they were looking at is this Chief Ninham, who fought with the soldiers during the American Revolution, and they wanted to honor his contribution. There is already a statue of Chief Ninham in the Woodlawn area. So they are coming to us for simply the removal of the name Indian Field. They will come back to us when they have more ideas about, they might do a survey to the community. They were thinking of different ways. They are not to that point yet with the renaming and a name for the field.
Thank you, Ms. Bond. So is the understanding that when they do get to that point, they will include us?
Correct.
Okay.
So
Is that
therefore,
clear
why
for
two
everyone?
letters?
Because I sense some hesitancy. So is that clear for everyone?
We're going to have an opportunity. We will have an opportunity to chime in on what we feel the name could be. So at this point, we would just like to, as Ms. Bond is saying, she'd like to, for us to vote on the letter of support. And then when the time comes for the name suggestions, we'll be involved with that as well and be able to offer suggestions.
Excuse me? And I'm trying to understand, and it is clarified to the point. We'll be in jeopardy with two letters, and we're not specific in the first letter to in terms of support, and then turn around if they decided, like someone said, to give the name that we may not be supportive of. I think one letter should support us, support them to say whatever they vote on to be done for the park, whether the name remains or the name changes. Because if you do a first letter in support for the group and then turn around and do a second letter, it may be a conflict.
Could you further explain how that would be a conflict? One is for the removal of the name Indian Field. The second would be for whatever suggestions we might have in terms of the renaming. So it's two separate things.
The board would be involved with the suggestion of the name change?
That's what was stated, yes.
I don't know.
If
the board is in favor of...
I'm sorry, maybe it's me. Maybe it's late in the hour, and like I said, I had a very long day, so maybe I'm not getting what the hesitancy is.
Didn't the board already vote and didn't this pass? So it sounds like any hesitancy and any issue can be discussed offline because the number of votes necessary to move this along have already been obtained.
That's only for the report.
Maybe we should move this along.
Queenie, it is only for the report that she's submitting to us. The other portion was in reference to her wanting to, us to support the fact that they want to remove the name of Indian from the park. Indian Fields, it'll now be known as Blank Field until such time as they come around to deciding whether they're going to.
They are going to decide, Ms. Benitez, just to be clear, they are going to be deciding the name, and it has to be in honor of, they're going to make it in honor of Chief Ninham, but they are just working out the semantics of how they're going to phrase it, whether they're going to say Chief Ninham, whether they're going to use his whole name. That was the part that they're working out, and they want to be able to bring it to the community and have like a survey about that and try to figure that out. So rather than keep Indian Field, because they've done all the renovations and things of that, they just want to kind of move the process along. That is all. That is all.
We have some hands, and we do want to kind of speed this up. Mr. Harry Singh?
Thank you, Chairwoman. Good evening, everyone. I think there are two issues here. The first issue is the fact of changing the name by dropping Indian. And the second issue is what that new name will be. I don't think the second issue is before us tonight. The first issue is just the fact of changing the name, whether or not we're in support of changing the name. We're not there yet as to what the renaming will be. So let us stick to the issue that's before us tonight and move on. Are we in support or are we not in support of changing the name by dropping Indian? Let us just focus on that.
Thank you.
So we
Okay.
have the two, so we did get a motion to vote, which was Carl Stricker made the motion and John Isaac second. So we really should go to the vote to make the decision at this time because we already accepted Ms. Bond's report. Is that clear?
Okay, can we call for a vote?
Yes.
Can we restate the motion again, please, so that Ms. Brownfield has that correctly?
Sure. We are calling a motion for a letter of support and the renaming of Indian Field.
Okay, and you had a second, and that was John Isaac, I believe?
That's what I recorded.
Okay,
Carl Stricker made the motion and John Isaac second.
okay, thank you. I'm going to call the roll. Judith Benitez, I'll say aye. Denise Bond,
Aye.
Ivan Flores,
Same as before, aye.
Carl Vasati,
Aye.
Michelle Brownfield,
Aye.
Victor Brown,
Aye.
Deacon Brown,
Aye.
Norbert Bryan,
Aye.
Desiree Campbell,
Aye.
Sadie Campbell,
Aye.
Joan Claude,
Aye.
Chris DeVoe, Tolene Dickinson,
Aye.
Kevin Eichelberger, Alfredo Figueroa, Kevin, I'm sorry, Alfredo Figueroa?
Aye.
Okay, gotcha. Johnny Goff,
Aye.
Robert Hall,
Aye.
Lisa Hayes,
Aye. Gotcha.
John Isaac,
Aye.
Theodore James,
Aye.
Keisha Martin, not present. Lucille Martin,
Aye.
Shanika Moore,
Aye.
Clinton Mike,
Aye.
Carmen Ortiz,
Aye.
Queenie Paniagua, Anthony Reed,
Aye.
Sherry Samuels,
Aye.
Harry Singh,
Aye.
Paul Stricker,
Aye.
Benga Sobera,
Aye.
Luke Sabados,
Aye.
Deborah Torado, Deborah Walker,
Aye.
Ryan Walters, not present. Esther Yema.
Aye.
The ayes have it. And I want to say to Ivan, we voted, but we voted on the report being accepted by the board. And this is now the vote in reference to accepting the motion to change the name, to eliminate Indian from the name. That's for your information.
Thank you all. Moving on, I'd like to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. Luke, can you give us your goals in 2 minutes? We gave each chair about 2 minutes. And I know that the chair, John Isaac, wants you to give a quick summary of the goals. Or did you put it in the chat?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, 2 minutes, please.
I put some of them in the chat.
Beautiful.
Sure. Okay, so this is going to be I put these in the chat. This is going to be kind of our goals, ideas. Of course, we are inclusive of other things as well, but here's a brief overview. So the first is, this is for the Transportation Committee and Capital Projects. The first is Boston Road safety improvements. So in 2015, Boston Road, the northern section, was added as one of the most dangerous corridors in the Bronx, with the most some of the most number of crashes, pedestrian injuries, injuries for motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians, if I haven't said that yet. So that means making it safer for all these different road users, and often that means creating a bike lane, creating bus lanes, delineating a different space. And all of these we'll discuss at the committee meeting. The next one is open streets in CB12. So there are currently no open streets in the East Bronx. Open streets allows for people who live on the street and anybody else walking by to use the streets to play, and it's free from through traffic. So these are really great improvements. People do barbecues, community events on the open streets, and I think we need them in our community too. The third is converting a couple blocks of Burke Avenue, which are currently vacant and occupied by a bunch of trees, into an actual green space. I was talking with somebody from DOT, and they said that this could actually be done through participatory budgeting, which I think the deadline has already passed. So maybe for next year, and happy to talk offline about that as well. Sidewalk construction on Tillotson Avenue and Steenwick Avenue. The council member's office is aware of this, and we can ask the city to designate capital funds to create sidewalks here. This is right next to a school in the district. Something that we just voted on tonight, school safety improvements for PS 68 and 189. Restoration of the BX30 bus to its original routes. Relocation of the BX7 and the BX11 bus stops from their present location to 233rd Street. 9 is monitoring school safety for the one-way conversions. We just voted on that tonight. Promoting more eco-friendly transportation in the neighborhood, walking, biking, mass transit. And the last one is in areas that flood, we can see if we can apply for some cloudburst technology being implemented by the Department of Environmental Protection. That's stormwater basins, porous pavement, rain gardens. I don't know how that timing was, but that's it.
Thank you. If you can all just please join the committee on this so that you can learn more about it and have more in-depth conversation. Thank you all. We're going to move on to old business. If you recall, the Jewish board presented to the board November 2022 and requested a letter of support for 59 units of supported housing at 4421 White Plains Road. We have been informed that they will not be moving forward with this plan. There was something happening, as George informed me, with the building setup, and it would have required a bigger budget to them to reconfigure. So they've passed on this. Excuse me? Okay. New business, we spoke about it earlier. Mr. Toba spoke about it. New precinct commander is underway. Good and welfare, we would love to do like a gathering, you know, we're virtual, we're not really getting to engage and getting to know each other. Luke suggested maybe having like a social gathering. If you're interested, please email us and we will put something together. Ms. Alfredo is part of it too. It's important that we bond and not just talk about all the heaviness going on, but find some moments of joy collectively and together, and uplift each other. And so we would love to gather. We're trying to figure out the what and where. So if you're interested, just let us know. You all have my email and I'll put us together. Maybe we'll put together a little committee of social gatherings.
That's very nice.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're interested. Ms. Goff, right?
Yes,
Okay.
very much so. We need to mingle a little bit.
We do. Okay, and then that concludes, that's the adjournment. I'd like to call a motion to close and end.
Ivan Boris, motion to close.
Second, John.
Second.
Thank you all. Miss Michelle Broomfield, you can stay on with me so that we can figure out the chat. Thank you all. Have a blessed one. Be safe. And please join the committees. It's super important. To the board members that are here after our phone call, I really appreciate it. Let's continue this energy moving forward. Thank you all. And have
You did
wait. I'm sorry.
You did a very nice job.
Thank you.
You did a very nice job tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Goff. And actually, we're going to have Ms. Cloud end with the prayer.
And a moment of silence for, remember, we need to have a moment of silence too, you know, for all the gun violence in the city, and just keep our youth in prayer.
protected. So a moment of silence, and then Ms. Claude, you'll end us in prayer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Claude?
Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity to gather together. Be with us as we leave this meeting. Help us, dear Lord, walk with confidence and lead us as we move forward to praise you and to effect change in our neighborhood. We thank you for all your blessings, dear Lord. Amen.
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 Thank you all.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night. Good night.
Beatrice.
Thank you all. Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.
Beatrice, it will stay on with you.
Yes,
night.
perfect.
Amen,
Thank you,
and
Ms.
thank you.
Benitez.
Good night.
Good night.
Ms. Beatrice, this is Esai from the Bronx DA's office. Can I send you my email directly, and you could just give me more information on the gathering that you are putting together?
Absolutely.
All right, very good.
Okay.
Hey, Ms.
Great
Beatrice.
job.
This is Jasmine from Assemblyman/Speaker Carly Hasey's office. I just wanted to know, like, what's your email?
I'm gonna put it here in the chat. I do have an official board one, but I don't know it by heart. So I'm gonna give you my personal for you and Isai.
Thank you so much.
Virginia Sanders, I would like to be part of it also.
Beautiful. Make sure we have your contact information in the chat.
Ursula has my information, but I'll put it in there if I can.
Thank you, Ms.
don't get
Virginia
cut off.
Sanders. Thank you.
Ms. Benitez.
Bye-bye. Take care. Thanks, Alfredo.
Good
Good
evening.
night, everybody.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
Good job, Beatrice. So yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
Let's see how many people we get for so we could do this.
We're getting some in the chat, so we just gotta follow up.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how we're gonna do this. Well, maybe we could start off maybe with a bowling thing first, and then
Right.
or go straight to to a